name is Navroop, and I will be your teacher for today. So let's start off with, what is heat? Heat is the transfer of kinetic energy from one medium to another. So that means if I rub my hands together, I will make heat. And if I touch myself, the kinetic particles that I made by doing this are getting transferred to myself with the transfer of heat and kinetic energy to my arm. So that was heat. But what are ways you can transfer it? There are three main ways that you can transfer heat: convection, conduction, and radiation. So let's start with the first one, convection. As I was saying before, we will be talking about convection. So first of all, to start it up, what is convection? Convection takes place when heated molecules move from one place to another, taking heat with them. Convection works in solids, liquids, and gases. So when one particle of a solid is heated, it vibrates faster than the others. This action spreads the heat from one particle to all the other particles. That is the example of convection. Convection in liquids. When water at the bottom of a pot is heated, it expands. The expanded water is less dense than the surrounding water and rises. Since the upper region is cooler, it is denser, therefore the colder water sinks. The difference in the densities of the water in different regions sets up a convection current. So that's what convection currents in liquids would be. Now let's see what convection is in gases. So as you know, on the top of our houses, there are two chimneys. One that makes the heat go up and one that takes it in to cool our house. So imagine you're lighting up a candle in a house. The heat goes up chimney A because it is warm and warm air rises. The air surrounding outside is colder, so the air becomes cold and rises down again to our chimney B. So that was how energy is transferred in gases with convection. And this also makes a convection current. An example of convection in the environment is, so when the sun heats the ground, the warm air rises and goes to the clouds, and it becomes cold up in the clouds and falls down again. This would be an example of convection in the environment. So our second topic is, as I said, conduction. So what is conduction? Conduction is the transfer of heat from one body or between two bodies that are touching. It is a point-by-point process of heat transfer. Conduction occurs in solids, liquids, and gases, but only when they are at rest. So what is an example of conduction? An example of conduction is when there's boiling water in a pot and you touch the pot, your finger gets burnt. So the burning of your finger is when one body is your finger and one body is the pot. When they both connect and the heat is transferred from the pot to you, that is a very good example of conduction. So what can be a good example of conduction in the environment? So when the sun's rays hit the ground heats up. And when the ground heats up, it heats up the air as well. So the ground heating up by the rays is our main example of conduction in the environment. Our last and only topic is radiation. What is radiation? Radiation is energy that moves from one place to another. So examples would be UV rays, X-ray rays, light, heat, and sound. What is an example of radiation? Under a pot, if we put a burning fire, rays are transported from the fire and hit the metal pot. And when the pot is heated, this means the water inside it is heated, which is liquid. And then when the water evaporates, it sends out gases. So that was how, in one example, all three, solid, liquid, and gas, use radiation. That was the end of my video. Hope you learned something. So just a recap over all my topics: conduction, convection, and radiation. So I wish you learned something new, and see you later next time.